What's going on, everybody? We got an emergent value series going for y'all today. I got a special guest in the house. What are we gonna talk about today, bro?
We are talking about personal brand and what it is and why you need to do it and how you need to do it and why people are doing it wrong.
Well, I'm excited about this one because I need to learn even more of this stuff, bro. So this is gonna be a really good episode for everybody to watch. Everybody, like the video on your way in, though. Please hit that subscribe button. If there's any audio issues, please let us know so then we can fix it because we're doing some different stuff with the mics right now. So please let me know if there's any audio issues. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so you can see every time we got a live show coming up. Go subscribe to our Purple Pill Pod live channel so you can also catch just the live shows over there and help us bless us with the algo over there with that other channel. If you want to show support, you can hit the join button on your channel right now, or you super chat any questions that you have for my man here today or me. But yeah, let's just jump to it, bro. Let's. What do you want to talk about first? What's the big starting point of a brand?
So the first thing is understanding what a brand is. So I'll go ahead and ask you, what do you, in your own words, what do you think a brand is?
Hmm. A brand is like the first representation that I see of something. Like kind of like how they say like everybody judge a book by the cover.
Mhm.
I feel like it's the cover. Like
Yeah.
like the brand might be like the first thing I might see, or what I like about the person, or like the thing that makes them special to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's a great answer. What I wrote down was a brand is not what you say it is; it's what they say it is. So, pretty much, quite simply, you can say whatever you want. You can say you're the best in X, Y, and Z, but if the world is not saying it and the world is not confirming it, then you have nothing. So it's 10 times more impactful for someone else to say that you're great at something than it is for you to say it. So that's where I like to start out with. What do you think about that?
No, I actually, yeah, no, I think that simplifies it way easier than how I said it.
No, but that's great. Your analogy was great. And I think that a lot of people, they think about it like that. It's the representation, and that's exactly what it is. So moving on, a goal that you have as a person building your personal brand is to set yourself as the authoritative figure in your space. You have to be the expert. You have to be someone who knows what they're talking about. You can't just, you know, have an idea or a feeling, emotions about something. If you want to talk about something or if you want to be a part of a community or do something in a space, then you have to know what you're talking about. And in your case, you did the research, you did the education. So why don't you tell them a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, so I like went and just read all the books on evolutionary psychology so I could be able to, actually spew some stats and some things that were accurate and the source of where they came from so then people could go find it themselves, like the actual
Hmm.
books and stuff. That was actually like really easy for me, I feel like. Do you think that a lot of people struggle with that point though, whenever it comes to trying to be the authority figure, really trying to be the best in it? Do you think that like how like what are the steps for somebody to become the best at something? Like say they want to become the best at doing like talking about sports or talking about whatever it is, like is there kind of steps to becoming the best? Do you think it's just reading books on it? Do you think it's just watching as much podcast or something on it? Like how do you become the best at it?
That's a great question. It's 50% planning, or in your case, like theory, and 50% execution. A lot of people get stuck on the theory and planning portion of it, and they never get started.
Ooh.
Getting started is the hardest part for a lot of people. They don't know where to get started, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what actionable steps to take.
So say you're somebody like me and you threw a bunch of money into a studio and like you kind of got started because once the money was all in, I couldn't do anything else about it. Would you kind of suggest that for some people just to get started, sometimes you gotta just make that leap of faith so then they can kind of had some skin in the game?
Well, that's a great point, actually. For a lot of my clients, since I help brands, not just personal brands, but brands as well. They have the same problem, and they need skin in the game to feel like they're losing something if they lose or winning something if they win. And I completely agree. You should have skin in the game. Now, how much, right? Like if you want to rip your arm off for this business, and then you work your way out from that, versus just like, hey, like, hey, kind
A
of,
little, a
yeah,
little $500 or a little
yeah,
$300
or time,
investment.
or time. A lot of people, they spend a lot of time doing something that doesn't work out, or it could work out, but if they just stuck with it, that's when it would pan out. But it's really hard to discern on what's something that's working, what's something that's not working. And so one of the next points that I'll get into is consistency, finding something that you're you're passionate about, something that you enjoy, something that interests you, and that could interest you for 10, 15, 20 years. Because with something like that, you give yourself the best environment to be consistent and therefore get the results that you ultimately want.
I think that's like the thing that everybody fears the most is, am I going to be consistent at this? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my biggest fear whenever I first got into it. It was like, oh my goodness, am I going to be able to handle, you know, doing, I was started with just one show a week. Can I boost this up to 2? Can I do 3? You know, can I handle this? Like, am I going to be consistent? And I think that's like the scariest aspect of starting
Absolutely.
anything is, are you going to stay consistent and not give up? That's why I bring up grit so much on the
Mm-hmm.
show, because I really think that grit is the biggest telltale sign of somebody that's going to make it ever. Because if you don't give up, if you have determination, there's nothing that can stop you. No brick wall can stop you, you know. What do you think is like the biggest thing whenever it comes to, you know, people that are, like, get stuck, other than, you know, like just getting started? Like, say they get started, what's the next thing other than, you know, continue? Like, when do you think people mostly give up on these things? Because you've helped a lot of people do startups and all types of stuff. Like, do you see people normally give up within a month, within 3 months, 6 months? Like if once, because basically I know there's like this thing that they say, like, once you make it past the 20th podcast episode, you're like already in the top 99% or something like that of podcasts, because most of them give up at 20. Like, where do you think people normally give up at? Like, just a month or what?
It really depends on most people. I would say, well, it depends on person to person. But if we were to say on average, I'd say between 60 to 90 days is a good indicator of what their efforts will be. Because you could have a fluke month, that first month where their family member passed away, or you just had something where they weren't able to execute at a high level, and because they don't execute at a high level, they don't see the results, and so because they didn't see the results, they say, oh well, this just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, well, I did have my family member pass away and I did take 2 weeks off, and instead of that, that's when they'll get crapped out, and around 60 days or 45 days, their efforts will show, and that will create like a self-fulfilling prophecy, essentially. Like, people will just create their own demise just because they don't have the results immediately within the first 30 days, 60 days.
I think that's a good way to look at all types of things, like
Yeah.
employees, all types of things. Like, people will really show their colors within the first 60 to
Yep.
90 days.
Yep.
Like, any person, you can see the type of person they are within 60
Pretty
to 90
much.
days.
If you,
they're going to give up, or
Yep.
if they're going to keep trying. No, that's a good point. What else when it comes to, you know, building your brand is like a really important point?
Well, some of the things people do wrong. So again, like copying others and taking inspiration from others. There's two different things. There's two ways to go about that. You can do your own thing from something that's been created, like taking inspiration, like music's made, or you can copy completely, word for word. For example, there's a guy who's copying Mr. Beast right now, doing every single video that Mr. Beast is doing. Exactly.
Wow.
Just on a lower budget, but exact same games, exact same like concepts.
That's so weird.
And he's making a lot of money, getting a lot of views, but he's inauthentic. It's not genuine, and people sense it. And a lot of people he doesn't have fans in
It's
the
just
U.S.
the Walmart version of it. Yeah.
Right, and you never want to be known as that. And so I always say, in order for you to be your truest self, to be the most authentic self, you can't copy someone else. But if you love to take inspiration from others, I do. I like taking inspiration from others. Then do it, but make sure, one, you give credit, and then also you make it your own. You make it your own.
But whenever somebody's trying to do something like that, do you think that it can kind of bite you in the ass? Because what if that person sees that you copied them, and they like come and say, or like a fan sees and they're like, oh, they just copied that from somebody else? Like, do you think that it can sometimes bite you in the ass more for copying? Like because everybody's going to see that?
It depends, because again, if you give the credit, then it actually is helping whoever content creator created the idea, because you're giving the credit, and eventually those people are going to go back to that channel or that person or whatever.
But like, if you always give credit to other people, then won't people think that you're not good at that, like you're not smart on your own? Like, everybody's always going to be like, oh, this guy's only smart because he takes from so many other people.
Well, it's not everything needs to be inspired. Not everything needs to be inspired. Eventually what happens is, and this happens with all art and music, is you start with a blank canvas, right? And then you throw something on it, like maybe a record, a music, a song, something on that canvas. This is music. But in art, you can look at a Picasso painting, and what they'll do is, from the memory of the Picasso painting, they'll create their own painting that might have elements of the Picasso painting, but it's still theirs. Same thing with music. There's a lot of chords that are reused in music over and over and over again.
Very true.
That are recognizable, And
you still hear them in songs today, and they'll be
Yes.
from like the 70s or 80s.
samples, all that stuff. No one says anything about Drake whenever he steals, someone's flow or whatever.
That's
Yeah,
so true.
they meme him, but they still glorify him.
Oh, that's so
And
true.
so when you're able to take something but not completely copy it and create your own style with it, that's where you get a Drake.
Guys, that's like one of my favorite things too from the 48 Laws of Power. I actually hate the 48 Laws of Power, but the only law in that whole book that I'm like, oh, this one is the one that changes your life is the law of standing on the shoulders of giants. You know, just copying others, but then putting a spin on it, like you're saying. I feel like that's like the problem that everybody has, like a creative block, basically.
Yeah.
Like I think everybody gets into the point where they're getting really good at something or in a niche or something, and then just one day they wake up to like a creative block that they just break through, and then with that new creative block getting broken through, that's how they're officially different, but in that same niche or genre, right?
That happens a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to do with this show.
Yeah,
I mean,
literally.
that's
Literally.
good. Guys, be excited for our rebranding this next week. I'm excited for it. But no, what else whenever it comes to branding? Like, what's some other negatives or positives with it?
Other things that people are not doing is they're not solving a problem in the market. A lot of people are looking into themselves and what they're doing, but they're not looking into what the world is doing and the problems they're facing.
So, like, whenever it comes to that, though, some people would say that there's like really cheap problems you can solve, and then there's like really expensive problems that you can solve. Like, is there some type of middle ground where you try to find a problem to solve that's like in the middle and nobody's looking at, and something that's not too cheap where nobody wants to solve that problem because there's no money in it?
Right.
Or do you just go constantly for the high ticket, like the highest problem to be solved? Like, but how does somebody kind of choose the level of problem they want to solve? You know?
This is a great question. It depends on the mentality of the person because and it's different, right? Some engineers will, figure out a way to make a paperclip more efficient or better. That's an example of an engineer that would be willing to build something from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not an engineer and you're someone that is looking to solve a problem that hasn't been solved before, depending on the size of what you've dealt with, the problems you've dealt with in your life will probably give you an idea of the kind of problems that there are in the world to solve. So, for example, if in your experience in your life, if you've come across a problem that costs you $10,000 or $5,000, in the future, you're more likely to see those same opportunities out there in the world.
That's a good point.
Depending on the amount of failures that you've had in life or the amount of losses you've taken, that'll allow you to see where the wins are more easily. Because if you haven't had the experience, then it's kind of hard to see.
That's a really good point. So basically, like, it's like what I talk about all on the show, that like the hero's journey, like the worst people go through, like the more troubles and hardships a person can go through, that's how they learn the hardest problems to solve, which therefore you can go and teach those people how to solve those problems later on. That's why I think some of the best influencers and the biggest people in the space, they're just showing people how they made it from nothing to something.
Yep.
And that's what like people respect the most, is because everybody wants to be on that journey. Everybody wants to go from the trenches to, driving the Bugatti.
And think about it. I mean, who respects someone that's spoon fed, given $1 million, $2 million at 18?
Oh, yeah, nobody respects them. Yeah.
And it's not like if they did something with it, kudos to them, respect to them. Yeah. But if
you still didn't earn it to start it, though.
If you were an 18-year-old or 19-year-old talking to me about how to make money, I wouldn't listen to you. But if you were an 18, 19-year-old who was on your way, if you were developing the skill sets to where you would eventually make $1 million a year, that's the kind of person that I would, even now at 24, I would still listen to 18, 19-year-old if they have those qualities, if they have those characteristics. No, it has nothing to do with what's in the bank account for me. If they have that tenacity and they're younger, I mean, most likely they won't have the money anyway.
So, like, I feel like if anything that I just learned from that, it's like, I mean, it sounds horrible, but kind of throw yourself to the wolves and, like, go through some bullshit, because if you learn to solve those problems, you can make money solving those problems for other people.
Right. Take
don't
action.
Be scared.
Stop being passive.
Yeah, don't
stop waiting. Stop sitting on the couch. Stop playing video games. Life's a video game. You need to go and treat life like a video game. Go get EXP. Go and do your thing. In RuneScape, I don't know if you played RuneScape, but
you got to get all your points.
Right.
Yeah, I never played that one because it was too repetitive. But I get
what you're saying. This wild guy right here.
Yeah, I'm a World of Warcraft guy.
So, I'm sure that was way more complex and stuff, but the same thing goes, right? You only have so much bandwidth, right? We'd like to think that we can sleep through or go overnight and not sleep, whatever, but we're human. We need 8 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep, and for the rest of it, most people are working a 9 to 5. So what are you going to do with the rest of the 3 to 4 hours you have left? Are you going to stay on your bed jacking off, eating Cheetos, or are you going to take extra steps, take extra initiative to go and live life and to go and experience life so that we can catch those L's, catch those successes along the way too. You definitely learn from the wins too. You definitely learn what works.
Yep.
But taking action is what gets you there. Without taking action, it's the lack of action that's what's killing everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, in RuneScape, what was it like? Level 99, you could get to everything. Or
99 was the top.
But it's the top for anything.
Yeah.
So guys, stop getting 99 and playing video games and sleeping and being broke.
Yeah.
Like you should be a level 99 in social skills, in sales, in building personal brands, like in getting sex. Like you should be a 99 in everything in life that's going to make you go further in life. If you're doing anything, if you're a level 99 in the video game realm, buddy, that's a big issue right now today. Like, I mean, I guess you could max it out, but now you need to like get off that. But you can go brag about it later on. You know, you can go tell people later on, hey, I was this good at this game. But you gotta have it in real life and in the game.
And some people will say, oh, well, what about the ninjas of the world and all that? Well, that ship has sailed, my friend.
Yeah.
If you're a gamer trying to make it on streaming on YouTube, algorithms have changed. So, I mean, if that opportunity comes up again with VR and, you know, it pops up, there's going to be an opportunity there. But as far as in general, people should be spending more time gamifying their life than living in a game on a computer or on a console.
Yeah. Oh, like what else do you think is really big for brand building?
I'll refer to what I was saying earlier about doing something that they don't care about. And by saying they don't care about it means that they're not doing it. And so, for example, if you say you want to do X, Y, and Z, but you're not taking any actionable steps to do that, that just means you don't care about it. If you care about something, you're gonna do it.
Yep.
Like just like how the girls say would like if he cared, he would this and that. It's like they're right, they're right, low key. But we don't need to tell them that. But for us in life, our actions are a representation of what we care about most. So the things that we take the most action on are the things we care about most, whether we like to believe it or not. In our subconscious, we care more about the feeling of pleasure or this or that than it is to go ahead and do what's hard, do what's necessary.
Yep. It's like, what do they always say? Don't look at what they say, look at what they do. That's an easy way to tell, like, once again, if somebody's going to be successful or not. Like, how much are they on point with what they say they're going to do?
Absolutely.
What's another big one for the brand building?
We're back to what you were saying, no hero's journey. A lot of people want to seem pristine, clean, polished. Nothing ever has happened to them negative. They've never been done wrong. They've never done anything wrong. People who can be honest about their failures and the things that they've done in the past that are wrong, it shows human. It shows that you're human. It shows that authenticity, and they can trust that. Because why would you lie about doing this bad thing? Why would you lie about that? You would lie about doing something good. You do have to verify that.
Yeah.
Think about that. People would have to verify if you donated to charity. If you said, "Hey, I did this thing and this thing," they would have to verify that. But if you said, "I did this, this, and this," that was negative, they don't have to verify it. They believe you immediately.
That is crazy. So yeah, I guess I've never thought about how you see people differently based off if they're telling you a negative or a positive thing. But yeah, I think the authenticity thing is something that you don't see at all today, and that's why it's such a big deal. Is because everybody is fake as hell.
Right.
So when you see a real thing or something like that, somebody being honest about failure, it's so rare, bro. I don't see that at all today. I don't see anybody talking about that.
Why do you think that comedians are so praised even today? They're still rewarded, is because they're the only ones that are pretty much allowed to
say the honest truth. Well, until they get slapped on a stage, you know.
Pretty much.
It's scary to be a comedian these days.
Yeah, but shout out to all the comedians out there from Dallas, Fort Worth. Shout out to all the comedians out there doing their thing, keeping free speech alive.
It's up to
First
y'all.
Amendment. Yeah,
literally
pretty much.
Y'all
are the last words, man. But yeah, we're comedians too, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know for the future. Next thing is going back to that, like not being honest about your failures and all that, not being true to you. So not being true to you could mean a lot of things, but very simply, it's just not being who you are in the way that you express yourself. So if you're a certain way here, but then in public or online, you're presenting yourself as something else, that's not really congruent to you. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself, you know, as far as like going 2 times into who you are. Like, for example, exaggerating the qualities and the things that I do well or the things that I am, to exaggerate them on a camera or whatever for entertainment, that's completely fine. That's congruent. But whenever you're acting like a completely different person, like personality types completely different, you know, doing something completely different, you're not being true to yourself. And in that case, people can see that, people can feel that, that bleeds out. There's no way to hide that.
Yeah.
You can't be a guy that has this belief system and presenting as someone that's like this, because your body language will tell me. If I ask you a question, your body language will tell me
There's
that.
like a false positive going on. It's like, this don't make sense.
Yes.
This is giving me a weird feeling in my gut.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was actually, when I did that show on Monday, I was talking to people about fallacies and, you know, like using the trivium to, you know, make sure a fallacy doesn't hit you. And the crazy thing about fallacies, is it's that weird feeling you get when you feel like somebody's like swindling you. Like it's like your brain's like, I don't know how to describe what you just did to me, but I feel weird by what you just tried to, you know, like, especially like, you know, car salesman stuff sometimes. It's like, oh, that makes me feel a little weird. Like,
that's a great example. I came from the car business, and a lot of the reason why I did well in the car business was because I did the opposite of that. At first, yes, when I first got in the car business, I ate shit. And I didn't make anything. I wasn't selling any cars because I was coming into it thinking like a car salesman. I was coming into it trying to swindle people or trying to get them to do this, get them to do that, instead of understanding what they were trying to accomplish and then reverse engineering how I can provide the solution. That's when it was clicked for me. But you're right. I mean, these car guys, they're funny sometimes, but they made it really easy when I figured that out.
It just depends who's teaching them. Shout out to Great Pill Podcast, man. Salute to you, bro.
Shout out
to you.
Thank you, guys.
Like, everybody, please like the video, subscribe on your way in. But yeah, what else, bro?
Leveraging existing relationships to build your brand. A lot of people, they're like, where do I get started? What do I do? Well, let's say you're a trainer, personal trainer. You're someone that wants to get started training. I'm sure you know people who are following you right now on Instagram who want to get in shape, who are wanting extra accountability, who need a little more guidance, or maybe just a friend to work out with. There's so many opportunities in the people that know you and love and trust you. You can get started there and work your way up. You don't have to start with zero completely. If you don't have any relationships, then you got another problem to you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, most people, 99% of people have their family, have friends of family, colleagues, coworkers. And in this group of people, they all know people. We can get to everyone in the world with just 6-7 connections. So there's so many connections that you have at your disposal. You just got to ask.
Yeah, and it's best to just go back to where you've already built rapport. Like, if you've already done business with people in the past, they are more likely to probably do business with you. It sounds like it's a basic thing to do something like that, but I bet a lot of people would skip over that in the instant.
You know why? Because they're scared of how they might feel. They're scared of how
because you're always scared of the people closest to you, what they'll think of what you're doing.
Like, really? You're going to do that, this and that? Because we've gotten it before. You know, our parents or family telling us not to do something, and we end up doing it, and it ends up working out. You know, we've been there.
Yep.
So,
and your family does that because they want you to stay they love the person that you are. And when you change and you start doing something different, you know, like, that's like they're losing somebody that they love. Like they're like that character, that person that they've known and developed with, and they're so similar to. And like, when you're changing, it's like they're changing, and I think that's what hurts them the most. Is it's like they have to accept the change in their life as well, and that's what hurts. It's personal at that point. You know,
I think you're a great point. I was going to piggyback off that. Let's say you're working out, someone else in the family might say, "Oh, why are you doing that?" Because they're thinking about because they're thinking about, you know, themselves. They're thinking about how they looked in the mirror when they woke up this morning and how they felt insecure about it. But anyone that's in shape, that sees you getting in shape, they're never going to say anything about it. They're going to go, support you. Yeah. Congratulate you.
Yeah. It's really crazy how there's a whole culture that's like, there's a culture war going on with the people that like care about taking care of themselves now, and then like the people that want us to stay horrible.
Yeah. It's really crazy. Yeah. It's a Cope Olympics over here. Leveraging existing relationships is huge. Everyone has relationships. Relationships is the number one currency, which we'll talk about in a future episode. Relationships being the number one currency in the world. Next thing is building goodwill. As Alex Hormozy, shout out Alex Hormozy. Love the classes, love the courses. Got some great stuff from it. But he says to build goodwill in your audience. So giving free value, how-tos, advice, free entertainment, free education, information, any resources you can give to your audience that helps them solve the problem that you're in charge of, that's what you need to be doing.
So, but when it comes to doing something like that, I mean, Alex Hormozy, he's doing great now. But how does somebody make a big difference whenever they're trying to make, like, what if free is too hard for some people to give out? Is it one of those things where they just need to shut up and just sacrifice and give out as much free as possible first? Like, it doesn't matter who you are, like, you need to always try to just give out free stuff first.
Yeah, I mean, always. I think you should always be giving out free. You should always be giving out free because there's always going to be people that are just on the edge of your sphere of influence. That if they just had a little more commitment from you, they would close that gap on their end.
Ah, that's a good point.
So it's about expanding that sphere of influence.
Oh, shout out to Maravetti, my boy, talking shit. Sergio needs to hop on a cycle. We were just talking about that, weren't we?
We was.
No, I got
at 50, guys.
I'm not gonna do a cycle. I'll go ahead and be honest. I'm doing Gregor Gallagher's testosterone treatment. It's called Kino Mojo. It's pretty dope. I've only been doing it for a few weeks, but yeah, I'm trying to get my testosterone up. But I'm an all natural person, Mara. I don't like big pharma at all. Yeah. I avoid big pharma in every way, shape, and form if I can. So I went the all natural route for this. I would actually highly suggest everybody takes the all natural route before they ever go start putting the needle in their ass. I did that shit when I was like 22 years old. I did it and I'm over it. Most people, I feel like they get into that shit. It's because it's one of those experience things. This is why I feel like I'm so good at like teaching or talking about things, because it's like, bro, anything anybody's doing right now, I probably did a long time ago. Like, especially like when it comes to making money or just doing anything drug related. Yeah, sorry guys, I was that
comedy
guy.
Guys.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just comedy. It's comedy. So like because of that, I'm not the type, man. I'm not gonna go to big pharma. Fuck big pharma. But yeah, what else, bro? Like, is there anything else for the personal branding?
Yeah, so the building goodwill part is really important, just to make sure that people are always feeling like nothing's in it for you. Like you're always given more than what they're giving you, and so they're always gonna feel. The law of reciprocity.
Mm-mm.
So the law of reciprocity states that if you do something nice for someone else, that they're gonna feel obligated to give you something back.
Ooh, okay.
So it's like giving someone a water whenever they come to your house. Hey, do you want a water? This and that before you start a meeting, before you start an exchange or a negotiation. It's something to do to where they feel a little bit of like they got to work with you now. So now it's applied to this. You're given free value, free tips, entertainment, and even if you're just starting out, you can talk about, hey guys, today was really tough. I was about to quit, but I pushed through. X, Y, and Z happened, but I handled it by doing X, Y, and Z or A, B, C.
You know what's so weird about this to me is like I always try to compare things like back to Christ and like Jesus sometimes, and I can't help but realize that some of the best sales skills or like branding skills, it goes back to being Christ-like. It goes back to just being a good person without expecting anything in return. I mean, obviously you hope for something in return,
right, sure.
But if you do it 1,000,000 times not expecting anything, it only takes 100 of those times of it to come back like you hope for it to. I think that people really underestimate how simple the world is sometimes. Like we overcomplicate stuff. It's like, bro, they done figured this shit out 2,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We're just catching up right now.
Amen to that. That's for real.
Yeah. Jesus is the ultimate brand building, first brand builder.
Yeah. I mean, dude, honestly, we're talking about
1/3 of the planet.
Right.
I mean, talk about brand building
for 2,000 years. I mean, that's crazy. That's an accomplishment.
Muhammad ain't got shit on this. Oh shit! I'm about to get canceled.
My bad. Comedian. Nothing against
that was a joke.
Nothing against the prophet.
Comedy, guys.
Nothing against the prophet, guys. We love the prophet over here. No big deals. Yeah. All right, here we go. Next thing is testimonials, right? So testimonials feeds into what we were talking about earlier about a brand's not what you say it is, it's what they say it is. Testimonials, anyone on camera, anyone in front of any sort of medium saying anything good about you. If they're saying something good about you in front of a camera, then right there, that's a big thing. What do you think about testimonials? How do you do them? What have you done with testimonials? Have you done any?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the one thing holding me back with my brand is I haven't collected all my testimonials yet, but that's something that I've been learning. I need to get way better at doing that kind of type of stuff. It's crazy how like my problem is that I feel awkward after I help somebody being like, hey, Now we write down on this really quick.
Right.
It annoys me whenever Chili's is like, "Hey, will you give us a review for your dinner?" Like
Right.
anytime anybody asks me to do that, it annoys me. So I have this weird little urge where I'm like, I don't want to ask these guys for testimonials.
That's a great point.
I feel like a bad person. So like, how does somebody fix something like that? If they're like me and they feel weird about it like that.
That's funny you say that because that's actually the best objection I can think of.
It's like the only good one.
That's the only one. Yeah, that's the
one.
only one. But I will say this: if your best friend owned the Chili's and it was called Billy's, would you care then about them asking
I
about
would do it in a heartbeat because fuck Chili's, but fuck, I love Billy.
So that's the exact same principle. If you're giving so much value and they're your friend, they consider you a friend online or in person, whatever,
Yeah.
then you already got their trust.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's really not. I think it's just like you fall back to the commercial or like the free market, view of it because we go to Chili's and we go to all these places that are mega corporations.
Right.
And so like that's why it puts you in that mentality. But you're 1,000% right. Like these aren't fucking corporations you're dealing with. This is regular everyday people.
Yeah.
Like it's really crazy whenever you put it that way.
And you just let them know. You just let them know, hey, we really appreciate if you did this. This will help our brand. This will help us grow our business. And just thank them. A lot of people
if they want to see you grow, why wouldn't they want to do? I mean, if they already bought a product from you or something like that, they want to see you grow probably, or they believe in your product. So why would they not want to help you grow that product to help other people?
This reminds me of another one that I didn't write down. Thank you. A lot of people don't say thank you enough. I'd say 90% of people, 95% of people don't say thank you enough. I'm saying thank you on a daily basis so much that I can't stop saying it whenever it's deserved.
Okay.
The reason why you need to is because, one, it's going to send a dopamine hit to whoever it is you're saying it to, because everyone likes to be told thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes to be appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone likes to feel like they're appreciated, because when you feel appreciated, you feel like you're not alone.
Yeah, that's so
Think
true.
about as a man, when you feel the most lonely, it's because you're not being appreciated.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for women as well, if their kids are, running around
they
reckless,
definitely still want to feel appreciated.
They want to feel appreciated.
So probably more than a guy.
So even online, when you're saying thank you for supporting, thank you for liking the video, thank you for watching, thank you for just sticking along for the journey. These thank yous, even though they're very small to you, they may seem small to you, they're big to them, because every time they're like, oh, you're talking to me. Like I'm part of this thank you that they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you say that, the more that's another part of that's another type of building good value. That's goodwill. That's another type of building goodwill and giving free value, is telling people thank you. So try to get used to saying thank you. That's going to help you way more than any other like branding tip or anything else. Start saying thank you more, and people are going to start appreciating it. And it's going to be weird. Say thank you. It's like one of the most simplest things, but saying thank you for like the littlest things. Next thing you know, people are like, oh, by the way, what do you do? Yeah. And next thing you know, they start a conversation. It's like, because not enough people are doing it.
What's weird is I think I've always naturally done the thank you, but it's like, I kind of want to bring this back to something else. I think it's because like I have a want for people to appreciate me, so I always say thank you because I just want people to like me.
Yeah,
like I want them to like, I don't know, I'm scared of how people see me in that aspect, I guess. But it brings back another thing that's a bad habit of mine, or I think it's a bad habit, and that's saying sorry all the time, being apologetic.
No, never apologize.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Yeah, and that's something.
Unless you made a mistake. But a lot of people apologize for making someone feel bad or feel.
Yeah, see, that's something that I gotta work through really bad. Like I'm the type where I don't want you to hate me, so I'm just gonna instantly apologize for it and just like, just so you know, I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. But that's something that I understand is a bad thing, and I'm trying to work through it because I know it's not a good thing.
It's all good, man.
But shout out to Eric G.
Let's go.
Some gems being dropped. Take notes, guys. Yeah, this is one of the biggest episodes that you should be taking notes on if anybody's here. What's up, Live Love? How's it going?
Shout out Live Love. Plan Pray.
She's the best awesome. Mod in the house.
She's awesome. I love her.
What's another one for
shout out Eric?
Yeah. Shout out to her. What's another one for the brand building?
We're getting close to the end here with the social proof. It goes to testimonials, but yeah, social proof. Being around other people who are doing things. Being around other people who are doing great things, who are impacting lives, who are creating waves. If you're creating waves, get around other people who are creating waves, and you can create a bigger wave. And next thing you know, we got a hurricane.
It's a compounding effect.
Yeah, exactly. So that's that.
whenever it comes to doing that, how do you suggest people find people that are doing good, that are making waves? Like, do you kind of just look for people in your local city? Like, do you think that you can jump on people's waves that are even outside of your city? Like, how do you think is the best way to kind of try to do something like this?
I'm gonna be real with you, man. It's been really difficult. It's something that I've been learning, something that I've been going through, trying to figure out because everyone's egos, are involved, and especially with the space I'm in, I'm dealing with a lot of artists, a lot of creatives, and they all are artists, so they have egos, right? It's part of the game. Uh, but I will say that the best way to get started is working inside your city. That's the most efficient, right? I could hit up so many other people, but I hit up Sergio,
Mm-hmm.
and that was because he was in the area, and I seen that he was creating waves. I seen that he was doing his thing, and so why not see if we can create something bigger here since it's efficient, and if he's on the same mission that I'm on, which I saw of trying to bring families together. That's ultimately what we're trying to do is create more moms, create more fathers that are actually there for their kids, and also to bring them together to where kids can be raised even better than they were before.
Nuclear families back.
Nuclear families, yeah. So we would love to do that. And so getting with him, it was really just sending him a DM and eventually working it out where we could negotiate and figure out something that works for the both of us. But because I had the skill sets, because I didn't even have the network yet. I still am working on the network, but because I had the skill sets, he saw enough value in me to even bring me a part of this thing. So why don't you tell the people, as far as the brand you saw from me, what made you even consider it? And after we met in person, what did you feel about my brand then?
Okay. Well, I'll bring it back just a little bit to the point where, like, first off, I have lots of people who hit me up, guys, that want to be a part of our team. It's like a very regular thing. DMs from people here in Dallas, DMs from people across the country who want to do copywriting, who want to do any type of work with us, do clips, whatever it is. And I have a very strong rule of, if this isn't seen as your purpose, if you don't have your heart 1,000% in this, like the rest of my crew of a dozen plus men, then you're not going to be a part of it. Because anybody that is a part of our crew, their heart is 100% in it. I've worked with a lot of people outside of the city. I've worked with tons of people across the United States and across the world. I've done a lot of work with a lot of people. And I've seen nothing but bleeding through passion from people that are here in Dallas, because what we're building here is a big thing for Dallas. And anybody that wants to be able to make the city go from nothing to something is going to have more heart than it than some person in LA or in Kenya or something.
True.
So it's I've really found that just you messaging me and you being local, I really think things happen for a reason. I think that, like, the way things sometimes work is there's like people that are building solar systems, like there's a star, and that star just brings in planets around them because of a gravitational pull. And that's why I get DM'd. I built something big here with this, and I knew I was going to have a gravitational pull of influencers, of people wanting to work with us, and all those things. And that was the best thing for me, because I can't message 1,000 people, but 1,000 people coming to me and messaging me definitely made it easy to have to filter, kind of like how it is for dating for women.
That's true.
I had to filter through people, but it was a clear sign, wanting to meet up in person, wanting to, just provide as much value as possible. It was very easy to be like, this person is on the team because you had all the skill set, you wanted to bring the value to the table, and you had the grit and the determination of everybody else in the group, if not more. So that's all that matters to me. And like we talked about purpose a lot, we talked about God a lot, like we talked about the whole point of everything that we want to do in our lives and in other people's lives. And when guys, like, we talk about this all the time, like, fuck blood, like fuck time with people. It's about who's on the same purpose as you, who's on the same journey as you, who's on the same path. And yeah, so to me, it's like a very easy telltale, because just like, this was easy to see. We're all on the same path. I don't like, once you get that feeling, that vibe, I guess the girls would say, I don't have to worry about nothing anymore, because the vibe is right. It's all about leadership, though. At the end of the day, it's all about teamwork. It's all about how well everybody works together. And if everybody does their part, it's like what Andrew Tate says with the chessboard all the time. Like, we have to have pawns. Like, so we have to have pawns. I'm sorry, yeah, we have to have a rook. Like, we have to have a king. We have to have a queen. Everybody has to play their position. So whenever I saw that you were willing to come in and play like the heavy hitter positions that you wanted, and you put in the grit and determination, yeah, dude, It's like one of those things. It's just like whenever you get with a girl, like my girlfriend, and she instantly comes in and wants to start cooking, cleaning, and doing whatever it takes to provide value into your life,
Yep.
to show you that that person wants to truly be a part of your purpose, and what you're doing. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a vibe. It's good. It's easy, you know. And I feel like there's no difference in regular relationships with men and with business and anything like that, because the problem is you never bring somebody onto your team that isn't on the same. I've done this multiple times, guys. It never works.
Yep.
You bring people in who don't have the same heart as you, you're wasting your time. Huge waste of your time.
I agree, and it's tough because if you get big enough, there's gonna be people that are gonna lie their way into
finessers. But I'm really good at psychoanalyzing. I think that I'm one of the best. I think there's very few people that are as good as me at psychoanalysis. I've been able to, guys. I used to be a drug dealer years ago. Like, I had to be able to read people's faces, or else that motherfucker was gonna rob me and kill me. So I learned real quick who's liars, who's finessers, who's trying to rat.
But for those who haven't gone through that experience, what would you recommend for them to have that discernment? What could they do?
It's only experience. I think experience is the best teacher for these things. And if y'all start opening businesses, if you start getting business partners, you'll find out real quick the same type of skills that I had to learn. You can get finesse, just like how I almost got finesse in the drug game. You could get finesse in the business game just as bad, if not worse. I know so many people who are sitting on business debts and all type of things because of partners they had in the past. That's sometimes worse than what can happen in the legal game. Shout out to Live Love, though.
She was asking a question about,
is doing a podcast possible without a desktop computer starting out and longevity wise? I think you would need a computer to at least upload to YouTube, unless you want to do an audio only podcast. But even if you do audio only, you still need a computer to upload to Buzzsprout or any of the websites for that. I'd recommend just a cheap laptop, right?
Yeah, well, I would just recommend Live, Love, Plan, Pray. The podcast, I would wait on that and make short form content. The reason why is because short form content is being pushed out a lot by the algorithm. So if you can just make
you can put little effort in and possibly get big results.
Yeah, you can.
I agree with that.
You can make like a video like an hour long, just like how you would on a podcast, but just edit it for like the next week or so on your own. Edit it. Use the captions app. Put some captions on it, and then put it on Instagram. You can DM me too. I'll help you out with this for free. You're a great supporter, so I'd love to do this. But from there, you'll be able to make short form content and maximize. And from there, once you start getting some viewership, then you can get the podcast set up, and it'll make more sense then.
Yeah, I can't express to you how you can probably put very low effort or borderline low effort and blow up really easily if you did it correct, the most efficient way possible. No, you don't have to make a lot of the mistakes that I made. 5678, what's going on? Hey, Sergio, thank you. I don't know if this is like burgundy or what. I guess it's kind of red. It looks really red in the camera right now. But yeah. No, I'm really excited. Is there anything else before we close off, man?
We're good. That's it. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, bro. I'm so excited whenever we're gonna do a show, because I know I'm gonna learn a lot. I know they're gonna learn a lot. This is like guys, if y'all want to join our mentorship, he's one of the mentors in the program for our sales and marketing. He's personal brand building. If anybody is interested in any of these things, you can slide in his DMs on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give it to you guys. It's Gotta See Johnny, GOTTASEEJONNY. Just DM me, shoot me a DM, and I'd love to help you out. Any businesses, any individuals who are looking to generate results online, I can help you out with that.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited about our future. We got so much coming this next year. Like we are on our 1 year on Friday. Super excited about that. We have so much coming, and thanks and shout out to Johnny, because he's helped develop a lot of this new stuff that's coming. So
thank you guys for helping us get over 25 million views in 11 months. That is an incredible feat. We got that across all platforms, and we couldn't have done it without you. Let me just say that.
Yeah, thank you guys, for real. Like, I can't believe that the podcast has done what it did. You know how so many people were saying I was only gonna get 1,000 subs, I was only gonna get 2,000-3,000 subs when I was first starting, and I never thought we'd be at 37,000, a year later, guys. I definitely shot for more, but that's because you always shoot higher than you're supposed to go for. But I'm very happy with the 37,000. I'm very, very thankful for all of y'all. Guys, definitely stick around, though, tonight. Johnny's going to stay for the panel with the girls.
We're going to go to battle, y'all. We're not going to let him off the hook this time. I promise you.
Yeah, I'm too soft. So my teacher's assistant here is going to go in on them. And I'm going to stay being my good cop, guys. And he can be the bad cop today.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how bad it is. But we got some really good girls coming for y'all tonight. So hopefully they're good girls. We'll see. Maybe dating material. We'll see. Or maybe
we're rating them at the end on femininity.
Okay, yeah, let's rate them. We haven't done that in a long time, but we're gonna rate them on femininity.
Not on looks, because I feel like they're gonna go crazy.
I usually do it on femininity. Back in the day, a year ago, we used to do it based off of relationship material, which is basically femininity.
Yeah,
which is basically
material.
Like how feminine is she?
I'm down.
Live, love, plant. Any hints on the rebranding?
Rebranding.
I will be Senor Solis. For the rebranding, what we're doing.
Go ahead.
I will be Senor Solis from now on. It will be a classroom. That's like the most hint I'm gonna give you is just think of a teacher, think of a classroom. That's like the goal. It's gonna be really fun. I think that y'all are gonna really enjoy what we're gonna come with because it's something that's unique. That's not anybody else is doing on YouTube. And it's also going to make it just a lot more fun for the whole group, not only for the girls that come. It's going to be more fun for me, honestly. I'm super excited about what I'm going to get to do, and I'm going to get to show you all a side of me that I never show, honestly.
Senor Solis.
Yes, I'm going to be a whole different person, hopefully, for y'all. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody for coming, man. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all here in a little bit for the girls' show. Excited you're staying around, so yeah, we'll roast these girls tonight. We'll see y'all here in a little bit, guys, though. Peace out.
See you.